right. Hello, Cancer signs. Cancer signs, this is your first monthly message for June. Thank you guys all so much. I'm getting the cleansing done for your space after I finish with the Gemini's first monthly message. Please keep in mind that all the monthly messages can take on the energy of Cancer energy, okay? So this can also apply for rising sign, moon sign, Venus, Mercury, right? And so on and so forth. So Cancer sun signs, you can also tune into your rising sign, moon sign, however you might feel guided throughout the monthlies for June to get you guidance and clarification for individuals tuning in. With that being said, we're doing something new this month, okay? I'm working with the Pendulum and a lot of different new Oracle decks, a new Tarot deck. If you've been with my channel for a while, you know that's kind of how I do it. Anyways, also, some of you definitely, you June babies, sun signs, you have birthday at the end of this month coming up, right? So look forward to when I unveil what's new for your solar return birthday season. But let's not jump too far ahead. You do have a new moon at the end of this month in your guys' sign, right? I think it's 6/26. I might have to double check that. It is the new buck moon. So a new moon at the end of the month in the Cancer energy. What else do we have? It happens to be 6/5 as I am first getting your message out. You also will have more than one message. So, check my channel to see your continued messages. This first one, we're going to jump into the Soul's Journey lesson cards. I'm just taking this for this about a 30-day energy, right? If any of this is stuff, from, things always come back around, right? From the past to be looked at, digested, processed, part of the healing of the soul's journey as well. So use your own discernment as you tune into these messages. Throughout, I also give different dates, times, names, music, however I feel guided, right? And so use, once again, your own discernment. Sometimes it's just the energy of the other zodiac sign. This could be something that's in your personal chart or people you're dealing with in your energy. And clearly, this is a general message for all the Cancer energy. So not all of it will, or, apply. So only take what might resonate for you on your personal journey. And the people in your life and what you're going through, right? Gosh, do I want to even start with that? I think, and before I jump into the cards, I just needed to take a little moment. I messed up a name. So with the Geminis, they were the first. And so when there's something going on spotlighted, like in the news or something at that current time when I am doing it, I might bring it forth. And because there is actually, at this current time, this man has not been caught. There's a manhunt. I don't know what I'm going to call it. And if you've been watching the news and maybe you're in a different area and you've not heard about this, but there is this 32-year-old male named Travis Decker who is, the police are looking for him. There was an Amber Alert for his 3 daughters. And this is a really disturbing, horrible thing. But they were found deceased. So he is still on the run. And this was in Washington State. Ironically, y'all, I got the Bigfoot mug this time. Okay, I am pulling in some Pisces energy. There was a lot of Libra energy, Virgo, Leo. There was a bit of an Aquarius energy, some Taurus energy. That's kind of what I was getting in this beginning, okay? So either you could have that in your chart or be dealing with those other signs. I am going to give different dates throughout. Anyways, at this current time, he still is. This has been going on. I think it was announced yesterday, 6/4, about these young girls. And I made an error on the name of one of the children, and I wanted to mention that. Her name is Peyton, or was, I guess I should say. And these are just young girls. So this is kind of an outrage that's going on. And since this person is still out there and has not been found, I'm sure you can watch news about it or get the further details about that information. But if anyone's in that area or something, seems like the man would be on foot. All right, the man's going to be on foot. Mount St. Helens, that's even Washington. Makes me think of a little bit of Oregon, Washington area. Bigfoot saw me, but nobody believes him. Here's my mug. Grab your coffee, your tea, your water, your snacks, whatever, and let's complete the cleansing and the raising of the vibration before we jump into the cards. I do want to try and keep it on the lighter side, of course. We're going to try and have some fun with it with the affirmators. That will be in your second video. So depends on, what you want to tune into as well. You're welcome to listen to all of the different messages for your zodiac sign, of course. But all of it may not have resonance. So use your own discernment as you tune in. These have been very beautiful, these soul's journey. This is definitely going to be more about your own personal growth, your own personal journey, and your soul's growth and soul lessons, right? Very beautiful. This by James Von Prague. Your second video, we're going to jump into the affirmators, family affirmators. And this is kind of about, having a good time going out with family, also having gratitude. And of course, we do have Father's Day coming up this month of June. I believe it's 6/15. And 6/11 is the full moon, so really close. From when I'm doing this, only 6 days away. And it is that full strawberry moon in Sagittarian energy. Okay. So I always was thinking of that as about like some big learning lessons. Jupiter is wisdom, maybe even planning a long distance trip, or we have graduation. I feel like, school's out for, and maybe talks about that, or checking out, I don't know, colleges, or what you want to do. Or if you have children, I guess, right? Or even, if some of you are thinking of going back to, further your education. Okay. Anyways. So like I said, be on the lookout for, I'll be on the lookout, or, send your energetic love and compassion. Gosh, especially for, especially for that mother, has to be like one of the deepest fears. Yeah. An all-time low, 9 Inch Nails. That was the song I was getting. Anyway, 6/18 is also spotlighted. I don't know why. But maybe something is important on that day. Of course, you could also have Gemini in your chart or be dealing with them because you are cusp energies. But I didn't sense it so much in this one. I saw a lot of Virgo and a lot of Libra. I saw 10/13, 10/14, 9/23. I saw some Aquarius, 2/13. And Virgo, 8/26. And like 9/01, 9/12, 9/11. I saw a lot of Virgo energy actually. 9/12. And there's Leo energy. Did I forget to say the Leo? Yeah, the Leo. I did see a lot of the end of July Leo energies. 7/31. Also 8/05. And if those dates or times aren't specific, it's just it's just the energy, right? You could have Leo in your chart, or be dealing with a Leo. Different messages for different Cancers tuning in, right? Okay. This has been fascinating. I unveiled the pendulum. We've been working with the pendulum, so things take a little bit longer sometimes getting the cards out initially, because we are asking Spirit to give us confirmation of the different cards and which cards are most relevant using the pendulum. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing this, past June, but for this month, I am using this new technique. So also the soulless healing is what brought this forth. I'm going to raise the vibration really quick. I know 9:33 on the clock. Okay. So maybe even seeing, I forgot to mention, I did see 11:44. So to me, that is maybe some divine intervention coming forth. Okay. 97 and 2001 were spotlight, as well as 2024. I don't know why. I'm just telling you. I'm just delivering the information, Cancer signs. I'm sensing like into this future energy, especially even for me. I'm kind of getting like, maybe I'll complete this entire year, but at some point I won't be doing a reading for every single zodiac sign. I'm going to just pull the zodiac sign that's necessary and start just doing the readings for which signs, because it goes, it's sometimes you're not in need of a message during that time, right? I see that there's the ebb and flow with the views and, the different zodiac signs. But I've enjoyed trying to give every sign a message using all these different oracle cards and tarots throughout. It's also about learning, of course. And it's exciting. It's something new, right? I always go to Lateralis and Tool. That's my go-to for moving forward. Okay, raising the vibration. Thank you guys all so much. Once again, I have reshuffled all these cards for the energy of Cancer sign. The tarot won't be until a future video. If you want to jump to that, we're working with Granny's Postcards Tarot this particular month. It's been very interesting so far. Anyways, okay. And I forget I need to do the cleansing as well. And connecting of the pendulum. Give me 1 second. The sage went out. I unveiled the sage. It was kind of spotlighted a little bit in the June energy or May energy, actually, working with the Green Witch Oracle, okay, with the lavender for calm. And I opened this one up because we do have one of these decks is kind of weird that I'm working with this month. It's the Women of Myth. Sometimes that gets a little heavy. And I felt the need to bring that forth. Okay. So let me just get this sage going, and we're going to cleanse this, this quartz pendulum. Oh, I'm seeing, need to fix that. And connect to evoke God's love and God's grace. Connecting with only those entities that I say entities, okay, spirit that walks in his light. We're going to cleanse off any energy that are residue from the Gemini's previous messages and set this for giving the guidance for the highest good of the Cancer signs who tune into these messages. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mercury, so on and so forth, for the highest good for the Cancer signs. All right. To connect for their well-being. So we have cleansed this. Now we first make sure that we are connected for the highest good, giving guidance for the Cancer signs who tune in. Are we connected with God's love before we begin? Ancestors, holy angels, Holy Spirit, connected with God's love? Yes. Yes, the circle is yes. All right, thank you for the highest good of the Cancer signs tuning in. All right, we have the pendulum is set and cleansed and connected to God's love. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, God. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And my beautiful ancestors, okay, and yours as well. All right, let's jump into the cards. 13:36 on the clock. Okay, we're going to see. So the soul's journey is where we're beginning. I brought in some beautiful rose quartz as well as green avertine and selenite. I have not used the pendulum on this deck yet, but the way it works, I'm just, instead of doing, so I'm going to split 2 decks. All right, we don't want this to be too long. And I have already shuffled these, as I said, and we're going to try and minimize which cards are most important for the highest good. Okay, shall we start with this deck? Are there cards in this deck to keep? We're getting a big yes. So yes. Okay, and I will probably also split that again. That's a big yes. Are these cards also, is there cards in this deck for the Cancer signs for their highest good? Is it a no? Should I put these back? There is a couple in here. It's telling me yes. Okay, so I need to reshuffle because both of these have cards in them. I'm going to split these up first. All right, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs for this month of June. Energy, what's most important for the highest good for their soul's journey? for the Cancer signs. So I must split these again and do, see, we're doing a process of elimination here, okay, for the Cancer signs before we pull the cards. Now, I might timestamp in the comments if this takes a while. Sometimes it does. It just takes a few minutes, but I wanted to show it on camera as well so you can see, because this is a different type of divination. Okay. All right, is this pile? Yes. Okay, we're getting a big yes. I don't even, they already know that they're like, we know this. Okay, that's a big yes. Okay, now what about this stack of cards? Is there cards? Is this a no? Can we remove this? Are there cards within this stack? I'm trying to hold it still, but I am kind of getting a no. Should I split this up? Is there cards? Can I remove this? Okay, I feel like I'm supposed to remove it. That's what I'm getting. So here's our first elimination pile. Okay, now we're going to split this one too because I don't want too many of these. All right, for the Cancer signs. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign for the highest good of the Cancer signs. All right, set for the Cancer signs for their soul's journey purpose for this month of June. Okay, let's check this pile. All right. Are there cards within this deck that are important for the Cancer signs for this monthly message? When it does that, it gives me kind of a mixed bag, telling me that there is some, but there is also some that are not. All right, let's go to this next. All right. Thank you, Spirit. Are there cards within this deck that are important for the Cancer signs? I need a reshuffle, guys. It's a reshuffle. See, that's what I'm saying. It's a little different than just like letting the cards fly out or splitting it, right? All right, Cancer signs. I did it one more time. All right. I'm just going to ask if it's a yes or a no. Are the cards in this pile a yes or a no? Yes or no? Spirit, are there cards within this deck? There's a small yes. Okay, with that, I'm saying that some of these will apply. Okay, yes is coming through. Okay. There might be, for some of you, it's not all going to apply for everyone who's tuning in. That's what I'm kind of getting with this. It was like, because everyone is on a different path, so not all will apply for who's tuning in. To keep that in mind as you tune into it. All right. Is this a yes or a no? Is this a yes or a no? Are there cards within this pile? You see it's vibrating there, but I'm getting the same thing. Okay. I feel like I've got to do both. Nah, I'm going to split this one. This is small. I'm just splitting them in half because we are very much minimizing here, okay? All right. Is this a yes? A yes or a no? No response. Is this a yes or a no? Is this a yes or a no? My goodness. All right, well, let's try this other deck. Okay. We already had a yes on this, but is this to start with this deck, a yes? Something odd's going on here with this. Is this a yes? It's okay, it is. But like I said, it's different. There must be a lot of you where is it going to be a different message for some of you here? My goodness. Okay, I'm just reshuffling these because that's why this takes a little bit longer. We're at 19 minutes. All right. Sometimes it is very, very strong. And when I get it, when it's like that, it's just telling me that it's not quite right. All right. All right. Thank you. Evoking God's love for the highest good of the Cancer signs. All right. Giving guidance and clarity, confirmation for the Cancer signs. Is this a yes? Yes. Big yes on that one now. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. Now this stack, is this a no or a yes? Is this a no? Okay, I kind of am getting the no. Okay, good. Thank you. We can remove these. We don't want too many. That's why we're doing this, right? Because we don't want all those cards. This will take forever. We're going to split this one up. We were getting quite a big yes, but this seems like quite a few. Cancer signs, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, all are tuning in. Let's split this one more time and then we will begin. Okay. So we definitely have those. There's quite a few in that stack. All right. Is this a yes? Okay, those are the removing ones. Okay, thank you, Spirit. That's a no. Let's double check this other one. So hopefully this is the yes again, right? All right. Okay, is this for the Cancer signs highest good? This is the cards here. Is this a yes? Is this the yes? Are there cards within here for the Cancer signs? Is this a yes? See, once again, it's like a small circle. Let's try this one again. Is this a yes for the Cancer signs? Weird. All right, we want me to mix them up. Okay, this is going to be the final, and then we are going. Okay, shuffling these for the Cancer signs. All right, here we go, guys. Thank you for your patience. I mean, this one didn't, I know it doesn't look that exciting, but it pretty much is. Okay, in this particular, I haven't tried it with this deck, guys. You guys are the first that I'm trying the Pendulum with this deck. It kind of coordinates more with the Solace deck. Okay, look at that. Immediately, I'm getting like a yes. Okay, thank you. Now, let's double check this pile. Is this the yes or the no? Is this a yes or a no? I'm getting this is kind of the no. Something's very light and delicate, which is interesting. That's what I'm noticing. I'm getting the sense that whatever is... I'm getting that these are all just suggestions, okay, as well. And you must use your own intuition, okay? I'm going to put that away because that's the way I'm sensing it, because let's get on with it, right? Let's start revealing. Your first one is blame. Dang. Blame game. I accept responsibility for my well-being. So, blame. Perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. So I like that this is taking accountability and taking responsibility for your own life, right? And not blaming others when shit hits the fan, or, you know, along the way we make choices or we do something irrational or, you know, immature. And then perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Okay? These are new. Like, you guys are the first to get these. And we have service for others. I feel good when I can help others. Okay. So this is for your whole month. Once again, it's for that June energy. Okay. We have forgiveness and service. Wow. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Okay, forgiveness and service have already come out. They came out with the Gemini energy, even about the communication around your neighborhood, siblings, something like that even. It could be that you're like helping others out, or, you know, that being of service to others, and it helps you feel good. Helps you move past any type of, you know, resentment or things like that. And honesty, being upfront, completely honest. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. that also came through with the Gemini energy. Okay, next we have worry. Oh, what is all of this in your thoughts? I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. And honesty. And the final one is relationships. Oh, look how beautiful it is. It's like the seed of life, the flower of life, all of these. I think it's the seed of life. I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. So we talk about relationships. We got a total of 7 cards. Look how fascinating that is. Okay. I'm kind of getting this as looking at it. When we talk about the zodiac and we talk about astrology and birth chart, I'm really getting, you know, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Virgo. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And then Libra. So it's the energy of wealth. So this is also how you're seen in the world. Maybe your rising sign, that, you know, taking accountability. Perseverance does really have a lot of Taurus energy, a lot of that earth energy, right? Then the Gemini is about communication, even, and with forgiveness, you know, and, even if it's, I feel like forgiveness is one of the core things that a lot of us are here to learn, right? And how can you learn that if you don't deal with somebody who causes you some type of hurt? Forgiveness is also about forgiving yourself. All right. And it also lightens your heart. And I could see that potentially it could have something to do with being, you know, honesty, integrity. I feel like someone was afraid of someone, of the truth. Even a worry is about, you know, anxiety and fear, thoughts, and being attracted to relationships who serve your higher good. That's a beautiful card. And I know you have it. I have it right here, so you guys can't see all of this. I might be able to actually see for Geminis, because it was like their birthday season and all of that. I did a giant spread. Okay. And this wasn't, so I'm taking a little bit less, so that it doesn't go so long. So I might actually be able to interlink the affirmators. We'll see how I go here. You know, I don't know why this like splits like that. Perseverance. I'm just setting relationships there. Okay. Yeah. We'll just leave it how I have it. I'm not going to give names this time in particular. This could be about forgiveness, working with family members, you know, or cousins, siblings, neighbors, something like that. People in your community, your own family, if you have children or grandchildren, you know, brothers, sisters, all that good stuff, eh? The Watcher. I just listened to Dr. Dre, The Watcher. I don't know. I listen to a lot of different music. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Anyways, let's begin with what the cards and the opera has to say with this. Thank you guys all so much. I know that was quite interesting, right? Doing it that way. It's just a different technique. It came with the Solace. This is my first time really working with the Pendulum. So thank you for your patience and your kindness. And I hope that you enjoy this message, that it gives you some guidance. And this is definitely about, you know, the higher learning stuff, right? And seeing a higher perspective of, you know, why you here? What you doing? This is beyond just like the day-to-day grind. Okay. The Soul's Journey. So, how many? We got 7 cards. I want to look at this. 2014 is spotlighted as well. Actually, this is actually really good. Dear Spirit, thank you for lifting away anything from these cards that is not of divine love. Spirit guides and master teachers, I ask your protection and assistance in guiding me with these cards, that the soul lessons I need to be made aware of are revealed to me and to you who are tuning in, and that I can speak clearly to my soul, and that they do through the use of this sacred deck. Every day we are learning a myriad of soul lessons, which disguise themselves in various situations and behaviors. The answers to our lessons are woven into our soul fabric, and when recognized, these patterns can be transformed and are always available for our review whenever we need, whenever we would like to know more. All you need to do is ask. Send out a thought to the universe that you would like some clarity about a particular lesson you are learning. This lesson may involve a specific situation in your life right now, or it can be about a person whom you would like to garner insight on. So use your own discernment. This could be about someone else in your life, a relationship, okay, someone you're thinking of, or this could be something you're going through. And this is you're learning these things. You know what I mean? This is soul growth. Okay. Okay, so we're going to start with blame, and this is the first I've seen, 22, 23, so maybe the 22nd in spotlighting, 622, 623, or these could be ages. There's a mastering of something, right? Maybe something happened when you were that age, or someone is that age, and it doesn't have to be that. I always put out synchronicities, different ages, dates, times, use your own discernment. It also says, I accept responsibility for my well-being. It is so easy to give away the power to transform your life. Certainly, there have been people along your path who have shaped you into who you are today, but you are solely responsible for your own happiness. The ego can be a very fragile thing, and it comes under fire. The first instinct is to blame an outside force. A victim consciousness weakens the connection that you have to your soul source. The mindset says, I don't have the power inside myself to break free because someone else's power is stronger. This is an illusion. When you believe that someone else is responsible for your problems, that belief is the problem. Personal responsibility can empower you to change your reality. Lasting transformation always begins on the inside and works its way out. There is a difference between a reason and an excuse. A reason is valid and unavoidable. An excuse is an attempt to shift the blame. And perseverance. $80 and $81. Okay. So I just throw that someone could be born in 80, 81. You could have an ancestor coming forth or something like this. Perseverance very much makes me feel very earthy, right? Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo energy makes me feel very much like Taurus energy. Or pulling that in. I also get some Leo, 8-1, Scorpio, Aries, Sag. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. As a soul, you are on a mission in this physical dimension. You're the only one who knows the correct path to take. Your intuition, your connection to spirit, capital S spirit, Holy Spirit, is your compass. You have the power to stay the course, and you are stronger and more determined than you might first think. In order to experience many successes in life, you must mature and realize the strength within yourself and the quality of your inner courage. Life doesn't just happen. We must make it happen. It is natural for us in this human school to shy away from what we believe to be difficult because we concern ourselves with how others will perceive us. We are afraid of failure, ridicule, or coming up short. Now is the time to make the proper changes and take risks and do things you never thought you could do before. Your soul must learn to become aware of its inner strength. Live the joyfulness your soul yearns for and engage in activities you've always wanted to try but were afraid you'd fail at. Your soul would not yearn for something that you couldn't accomplish. You have the strength and fortitude to be capable of greatness. 81 and 80. And being of service for others. So it could be that throughout this month, you're really recognizing this in yourself, and you're persevering over some stuff that you've gone through, and you're taking accountability, right, of your life. And, you know, even if you have at some point literally been a victim, because I understand that. I understand how it's like, that's one of the hardest things, I think, of being like, you feel like someone else has wronged you or done something to you, you know, and they probably have. And it's like, I wouldn't feel this way. I wouldn't, do this if you hadn't done this. Right? So it's hard to then be like, you know what? That's the whole thing of giving your power away. Um, but we have to have this balance, because if not, then you'll be like, well, you don't care. You're detached. Um, it's like there's this thing of being like, well, I can't care. I don't just knowing that whoever it is, getting away, moving away from them, doing the forgiveness work. And we all know, we've all heard, forgiveness doesn't mean you allow this person back into your life unless that's what if that's how you feel guided. Like, sometimes we get in these little tiny things that we blow, we blow it out of proportion. Seems like it's a huge thing, and in the end it was something petty. You know, in that sense, right? So being of service is beautiful. You know, I think there is something about people really, needing to feel like they have value, like they're needed, they're important. That's the whole thing of wanting to be of service for others. 92 and 93, once again. I was saying 97 means probably, like I said. So these could be years of birth, even, or back then. You could have, ancestors coming forth of those ages. I get also that Virgo, Sag, Taurus, Scorpio energy, Gemini. I feel good when I can help others. One of the most evolved gifts that a soul possesses is giving of itself. There's a reason why I feel so good to give. It's because your soul resonates with that vibration. Your soul should be aware that it might currently be in a situation in which it needs to be fulfilled on higher levels. And this can only happen through the attributes of humbly serving and supporting others. Put yourself in a position in which you can benefit another soul in any way possible, and demonstrate unconditional love toward others. This might mean bringing yourself into your heart space and letting everything you involve yourself in come from an attitude of giving freely, right? Doing things for others without expectations. But the thing is, with this, in this world, we get a lot of times where people persuade or push us or guilt trip us into doing those things. So make sure that your heart wants it, because if not, then you're bitter. You get bitter at a person. You feel like, that's even, you know what I mean? This relationships card is so pretty. It's like grabbing my attention out of all of these. So this is about working with others and relationships. That's what this is about. Understanding our own self, working with others, in the world, other human beings, our community, and strangers even, like whatever it is that you do, I'm sure you do it. I always got this: provide value. So if you're just putting yourself out there to share information or anything like that, it's like, are you adding value to others' lives? Helping them to minimize the complexities, helping them to simplify, also it's lead by example. So you can serve others by, sharing what you've been through and how you've overcome, especially with this perseverance. It's really beautiful. All right. You have to learn to direct your green heart light energy through all your thoughts, actions, and deeds. I get the band Rush. Wait, is it like Neil Diamond too? The Limelight. And Free Will of Rush. Okay. What else? So Neil. Closer to the Heart. What is the other song? Is it Neil Diamond or Neil Young? Neil is it? Wow. Okay, so the name Neil is being very spotlighted. Okay, weird. Okay, maybe you need to kneel. I don't know. Kneel down and pray that itchy rash go away. I'm sorry, I can't. No, I'm just kidding. That's some Sublime and Brad popping in there for a second, but huh. Same in the end. I don't know. There's something else coming through. Give me a moment. With this service. Turn on your heart light. Da-na-na. Green heart light. Okay. Look around and see where and how you can serve another. Perhaps one way would be asking a friend if you can help clean up his or her office or run errands, you know. When you recognize that someone in your life is, feeling stressed out or anxious or they got a lot going on, it's always like, is there anything I can do to help you? And some people don't like giving that, but a lot of times there's other people who is always like, let us know if there's anything you need. And then you're like, oh, well, I do need. And they're like, oh, we were just saying that to be nice. We were hoping you wouldn't actually take us up on that offer. And you can sense it in them too. And you're like, oh, with a smile on their face, grinding their teeth. Or they turn around and say, okay, yeah, I'll have someone. You're like, can someone come help me get some of this yard debris out or something, right? Put together something, I don't know, and they're like, I knew this Cancer sign who would go and mow his neighbor's lawns, and underneath it was because he had OCD and he couldn't stand seeing their yard. That was the truth of the matter, but it was awfully nice. And he would snow shovel and he would anyways, that was the neighbor. You know what I mean? I don't know why I'm saying that. Maybe just helping someone out with some yard work and things like that, I was getting this weirdest thing that there's always something everyone always has a foot in with something. I don't know. Yard work. Whatever it is, okay? Yeah, so it's even saying, perhaps one way asking a friend, okay, or maybe volunteer to watch your neighbor. You know what else I'm getting is something like, you already have a plan to run into town. Okay, into town, get some groceries or pick up some things at a certain place. And you're like, hey, I'm going to be out and about. Is there anything you need? And your neighbor's like, yeah, I'm actually out of eggs and milk. I was going to have to go, or sugar. And then they're going to make you some cookies for bringing that for them. No, I'm just kidding. But it comes back to you, it's something, it can be so simple. Maybe you already do these things. It's saying that it gives you a sense of fulfillment by doing that. So that's why you do what you do. It also helps us get out of the blame game and also feeling like, isolating or being selfish, truly, And there is a time when we need to make sure that we are, also focused on what brings us happiness and joy, and feeling healthy, take care of our own shit too. Because sometimes people can let their shit, and I'm talking about your shit you need to handle, and go out. I've seen people, they deflect taking care of their own responsibilities and then start putting their hand out to help everyone else in the meanwhile, they're not wanting to face their own shit even. So, you know, and it comes back around. Dude, this relationship card is so pretty, and you guys can't even see it. I want to set it here because I want you to see it. So far, this is one of my favorite ones. I mean, these are beautiful cards, but it is just standing out so much more than the other ones to me in my vision as I'm here. I'm a Libra, so maybe that's why. I have a lot of Venetian, Libra rising, Libra Venus, Libra sun, Taurus moon. So in my, for me personally, something I need to learn how to also do things independently, right? As a Libra. So that's understanding my opposite of Aries, vice versa. And then I haven't seen much about the Capricorn energy coming forth so far at this, but it is what it is. Doesn't matter. Okay, it's also saying maybe volunteer to watch your neighbor's kids. Okay, or something like that. So the parents can have a night out. Make a meal for someone who might be sick. Volunteer in a hospital or hospice. Perform an activity that enriches someone else's life. Now, those are just some ideas, suggestions. Maybe you've done stuff like that. There's some of that stuff that I'm not going to do. Okay, that just doesn't resonate for me. This makes me think of Relief Society. This being of service, that makes me think of Relief Society. I think that's why some people are drawn to that, especially with, religion and stuff like that. I think Relief Society is like just a Mormon thing. I don't know, but that's the terminology of it. It's they're relieving someone. It's usually when there has been, a death in the family, everyone comes together and be helping out, or things like that. Or, it's always that service project or something. I just get the thing is that doing it for the right reason instead of feeling some weird obligation, because then it turns into bitterness when you feel forced. So that's why, like, the church shit makes you feel forced to do things. Or they say they're going to do it, and what they end up doing is then just telling a whole bunch of other people to go do it for you. They're not actually lifting a finger doing it. They're going to then go boss people around. That is so annoying. That is the most annoying thing ever when a person says, hey, is there anything we can help you with? Let me know if I can help you. And you're like, okay, yeah. Or that would be great. I would appreciate that. I have to drop these packages off at the post office and I'm running behind, whatever the scenario. We're very in Gemini energy, aren't we? That's what we're in. We're in surface level stuff here. And we are, okay. We're not talking deep about, even though we are talking about the soul path. It soothes the soul to be of service. Anyways, sorry, I was getting distracted, but I've had that scenario where you're like, yeah, or asking, and I've had where my kids get forced into doing service work by their coach. Like my daughter, like school, this wasn't even church, but she was in volleyball, and the coach would just they were forced to have to go volunteer and do service for other people. And it was always like someone she knew in the neighborhood or things like that. And I was like, what the hell? And if she didn't go, she'd be treated differently, wouldn't get to be played in the games and things like that. That's forced servitude. That's not truth. That's not true. And that person's not lifting a finger and telling all these bossing around these other people to go do it. Oh, do you do that? Cancer sign. I knew this Virgo person, she would always voluntold. It's called voluntold her husband to do things. Oh yeah, he'll come over and mow your lawn for you. And he's like, I will? Wait, what? That's weird, isn't it? Telling your partner what they're gonna do. Weird. I don't know why I'm going off on this. That one took me. Blame. I'm back at blame. How weird is that? Okay. That's when there gets to be some type of bitterness, right? Okay, we're going to move on to forgiveness here. 44. A lot of mastering. So we go from 22 to 44. You know, and even though I do pull this for June, if you want to reflect back, you know, or some of you are that age or something, these are just different stages in life, mastering, level, you know, that's where we gain wisdom, going through certain things, and then recognizing, taking accountability. Some could be 44 or 45 doing this forgiveness work. That it could be dealing with a Aries, a Cancer sign, multiple Cancer signs. Yeah, you are a Cancer sign, eh? Leo. Those are the main energies I'm getting. So when we look at it as energies, it could be, you know, forgiving of yourself, okay? Also forgiving of then the mothering energy, maybe your own mother, okay? Maybe your own nurturing, mothering instincts. Because 44 mastery to me is about parenting, okay? And even about like other people's children, okay? And I'm talking about that is having this unconditional love, fathering, mothering energy, regardless, as like kind of a mentor even, or seeing all the children of the world as, you know, the youth that deserves to have, and especially when they're having a hard upbringing or something, or they don't have family members that are in their compassion and that are healed. You know, there was definitely that I remember the meme, and it said a child's first enemy is going to be an unhealed parent, because that unhealed parent isn't, you know, I don't know. Because that parent's supposed to, they don't know how to compassionately take care of, you know, be the parent, because something stunted their growth, I'm saying, in their own childhood. You know what I mean? And not always. I mean, you do the best you can with what you know at that time. That was something that really helped me overcome anything with my own mother. As I got older, I started to understand more, and you know, she was doing the best that she could with the information she had and the circumstances she was given. But anyways, and that's the forgiveness work. Starting to see that, you know, like there was a time where I very much felt like abandoned, or I was sent to live with my grandparents and stuff. But, you know, anyways, and they had their own things going on, their own stuff, and it was like they weren't able to truly be present. I don't know why I'm telling you that. Okay, we're going to forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. You can never flow with your natural energy of love unless you release the negative energy of hate, anger, intolerance, or blame. So very much, these ones are very much connected. 2244. That could even be, you know, a child, or saying, you know what I mean? Like you could be 44 and have a 22-year-old or something, right? Or just even reflecting on those ages. I don't know why that's important. Or the Virgo energy, Leo energy. It could be a child, you know. There's unconditional love with our children, even when they act like brats. Okay. All right. Every soul in your path has free will, and you have no control over that. Wow, that's what I even said. I was getting that song, Free Will. His all name is too is Will or William. Willie. Oh, I was getting Timothy or Tim. There's a lot of Timmys. And Neil. That's so weird. Okay. And Christopher.
and Chris, Robert. Okay. I know, Mike. Yeah, Mike. Michael. What you do have control over is how you react to the manifestation of others' free will. Holding on to that negative energy will strengthen karmic cycles, and forgiveness can break that pattern. Right? That is what we talk about too. And I bring up that karmic, we talk about karmics and all of this stuff and breaking the pattern, breaking the cycles, ancestral things even, and how you do it. If you don't do this work in this lifetime, you will reincarnate again with those same souls to learn the lesson because it wasn't learned. It can also be even in this current in the same life. If you don't do that, you're going to keep going having relationships with the same different people, but getting that same scenario until you that sometimes you don't recognize that pattern until you do have the same scenario go on with the different groups of people. um that's what I understood so much about. That's breaking that karmic tie. And a lot of times with karmic stuff, it was very heavy shit for some. This isn't to create a deep hurt karmic tie. Something very painful happened. People harmed each other in previous lives, mentally, spiritually, physically. So being aware of that, it is even doing service helps help. It could be even a whole weird, like if you know how if you get in trouble with the law and you're supposed to do volunteer work or something like that, even service. What's that called? Yeah, for forgiveness. It's like coming in and being like, you know, I'm sorry I wasn't there for you in the past. I recognize, you know, I kind of get it something like that. That like being like right away, having that awakening, right? Being like taking accountability and persevering, and even acts of service, showing love and showing. So it's like someone can say, "I'm really sorry, please forgive me," or something like that. Um, but this is taking the action. Even you could be someone who helps others with this forgiveness work. Mm. Weird. And this can also be for yourself, allowing others, right? Okay. Forgiveness can break that pattern. The most important person you must learn to forgive is always yourself. Blaming yourself for failures blocks the natural flow of love, which will attract all good things into your life. See how they're interconnected. Interconnected. Planetary. How interesting. Now we go to honesty. Forgiveness and honesty. And maybe it was about, somebody lying or being deceptive. As I'm reading these cards, like I'm really seeing it's like it was like there's worry about this honesty, right? Or there's worry that somebody isn't being completely upfront and honest. Sometimes it's like they'll say, well, I didn't want to tell you the truth because I didn't want to worry you, or I knew this would be upsetting, so you know I just kind of getting this. And when we get to tarot, I'm gonna let these all build, just so y'all know. That's what I've been doing. This, when we go to your second one, this will already be down, and then I will add what their cards go to it. And then the final video with the tarot with Granny's postcards will either be your fourth or your fifth video. We're gonna really dive into who these different people or scenarios are, right? It could be that somebody either, that somebody was angry, that somebody was dishonest, okay, and that's that free will once again, or asking forgiveness for not being upfront and honest, being deceptive, um, hmm, about some relationship or with someone. Hmm. All right. Also, forgiving yourself if you have been that way. No one's perfect. Everyone's probably told a white lie, done something, right? That will also is what gives you this freedom. All right, now we're going to go to honesty. 62 and 63. Okay. This could even be happening during that time. I don't know. Like I said, 6-2 Geminis, 6-3 Geminis. I get a little Virgo Gemini energy. Taurus, Leo, with this honesty. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it for myself. Being truthful with others is a slippery business. You're expected to tell and expected to be told white lies, yeah? No one wants their feelings hurt, but sometimes a strong dose of reality is needed. No one can tell you definitely, defiantly, what is this? Definitively, there we go, definitively in what circumstances and untruth would be better, but honesty is usually the best policy. You and only you know in your heart when the right time is to be totally honest. The only time you must be absolutely truthful is when you are addressing yourself. Always be upfront and honest with yourself. You must at all times present yourself authentically to those around you. Only by being yourself do you draw in the people and circumstances that you most need to learn from. And that's about that relationship. Oh, I'm getting this song by Styx and Tommy. Angry young man. Fooling yourself if you don't believe it. You're kidding yourself if you don't believe it. I like that song. That's a good song. Tom. An angry young man. All right, let's see what worry is. I keep getting it. Worry makes the world go round. So worry was one of the very first cards with the Gemini energy. So it's really interesting that I am getting that here. And of course you could have that. We are in Gemini season, right? But everyone can, these are about our thoughts, communication. Right? I see this as also being upfront, honest about the things that you're worried about. Even, it's okay. Things need to be expressed. Address the issues within your own relationships. That's what relationship is there for as well too. It's like, to also confide in others. And help see, maybe a different way. I don't know how to explain. Letting them, there's some worry. I get that there's somebody who's worried about either that somebody isn't being honest or worried about being completely honest. Or just about the things going on in life and in the world that create some type of worry or anxiety. But this is also learning that there's nothing to fear but fear itself. And instead of worrying about it, brainstorm, like, well, how can we work through look at it. I see that as also looking at worst case scenarios and different avenues and things and making a plan so that you don't feel, so that, these anxieties or fears or worries, you have a solid course of action to take. Then that relieves that. And I'm not getting surrendering worry here. 100 and 101. I'm learning the worry doesn't change an outcome. Worry is a wasted emotion. It does nothing other than give you the illusion of control. And maybe that's the whole thing, like I just said, right? When you expend too much energy worrying, it limits you and has an adverse effect on the natural energy of the soul. Worrying destroys the hope, faith, and excitement that are wonderful elements of the schoolroom called Earth. Remember that you are what you think And you have the power to create positive thoughts, which beget positive outcomes. Worries and negative emotions set you up for a negative result. What unnecessary worries are you carrying around with you now? Examine them objectively in the light of love. Help your soul by releasing them and be fully connected to the current moment, which is where your power resides. And then we have relationships. That is such, like, that card is like so vibrant for me. It's like glowing. You'll see that? That's like glowing. Relationships. You guys are the first to see it. Well, you guys are my second zodiac sign working with these cards, so we will see. 88 and 89. So karmic, even about abundance, infinity, 8th house stuff, even. Okay, I'm also getting some Scorpio Leo energy. So, Scorpio Leo energy, when we talk about that, it's about romance, about fun, okay, about flirtation, about creativity, about children, even communicating about children or having them, you know, or working with children, as well as the scorpionic nature is where we talk about, you know, that is about sex, death, birth, taxes, other people's money, some of the taboo issues in the world. So there's also a thing of, that's where the worry could be, man. It could be about, you know, those type of things, those type of issues. And, you know, protecting children and our youth by also, there's a time when it's important, you know, to talk about certain matters like this with children. It's not an easy conversation either. Or maybe it is about, you know, what you want in your own personal relationship. Some people don't want children, okay? And where you want to live and what your goals, your dreams, your, you know, your hopes are. And if they don't like line up, then one person has to completely compromise and let go of their aspirations for the other person. So, you know what I mean? I don't know. This is also about attracting and being attracted to people who serve your higher good. Now, this is not always just about romance either, about partnerships, someone you can work well with, you know, teamwork, you know, whether this could have to do with actual work or friendships as well, business partners even. Okay, 88 and 89. Like I said, a lot of scorpionic energy. Ooh, that could be like a Taurus rising or Aquarius rising for some of you, maybe. Okay, it says, I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. In this three-dimensional world in which we live, there is a sense that we are separate from one another, and also that we meet by chance. This is an illusion. The people in our lives are drawn to us and are here for a reason. It is through sharing experiences and having a relationship with others that we begin to understand ourselves. When someone appears in your life, you must see what is not resolved or whole in the person and understand the lessons he or she brings home to you. You draw others to you like magnets in order to learn various aspects of yourself. The people you have close relationships with on earth are usually members of your soul family. You have chosen to incarnate together to help each other learn lessons, even though it may not seem that way to you now. Once a lesson is learned, don't be surprised if that person fades away. People are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. 88, 89. All right, Cancer signs. Wow, that was your first monthly message for June with the Soul's Journey lesson cards. It's 1:09 on the clock. I have been keeping these a little shorter. I love that this one is right here. I am going to move it over here. I think I am going to, that's why I'm going to do, probably end up being the way it is, like 5 videos. So check my channel for your next video or whichever one you might feel drawn to. Cancer signs, I hope you have a beautiful month. This looks beautiful for your relationships. working with others, being completely upfront and honest, so you don't have to worry about it. That's the other thing. Like, if something you need to say, being honest, or worry that someone isn't being honest with you, you shouldn't have to feel that way. Like, I mean, we shouldn't have to walk on eggshells around a certain person, especially, you know, and there are certain people in our life that we don't need to be, you know, completely, that we, you know, we got to put our fucking fake face on. Okay, let's be real. It just, you can tell whether it's someone that you can be completely open with or not. And you know, and if you recognize you can't be, then that's also someone you're like, you know, keep you at arm's length. You don't have a close, you know. Seventh house energy is also those people that we would deem as maybe our op, okay, or an enemy in some way. And it's more like they think they're in competition with you, or you're in competition. It's like that nemesis, you know, or you just don't, like, your personalities clash, and no matter what, you just can't vibe. And somehow they're probably either they're still in your energy, or they're in your friends group, or your family members, or whoever, or community, right? It's like we all have some of those. So it's not like you're alone in that. And they have theirs too, right? Okay, thank you, Cancer signs. I hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.